Top 10 Creepiest Unsolved Mysteries. What if some mysteries were never meant to be solved? Cases with no answers, disappearances with no trace, and stories so disturbing they still terrify people decades later. Tonight we're counting down the top 10 creepiest unsolved mysteries ever recorded. From vanished colonies, to unexplained deaths, to events so strange they still confuse investigators to this day. Make sure to stay until number 1, because the final case remains one of the most terrifying mysteries in human history. Let's begin. Number 10, the Tamam Shud case. December 1st, 1948. On Somerton Beach in Australia, a man was found dead, leaning against a seawall. At first glance, nothing seemed unusual, but investigators quickly realized something disturbing. The man carried no identification. No wallet, no papers. Even the labels on his clothing had been removed. Nobody knew who he was. And even stranger, doctors could not determine exactly how he died. Then came the discovery that turned the case into a global mystery. Hidden inside a tiny pocket sewn into the man's pants was a rolled-up piece of paper. Printed on it were the words, Tamam Shud, a phrase meaning finished. The words had been torn from a rare poetry book called the Rubaiyat. Months later, police located the exact book abandoned in a nearby car. Inside the book was a strange coded message. To this day, nobody has cracked it. Some believe the man was a spy during the Cold War. Others think he may have been poisoned, but over 70 years later, his identity and cause of death remain unknown. Number 9. The Lost Colony of Roanoke. In 1587, over 100 English settlers arrived on Roanoke Island off the coast of North America. The colony struggled to survive. Food was scarce, supplies were limited. Eventually, the governor sailed back to England for help, but because of war, he couldn't return for 3 years. When he finally came back, the entire colony had vanished. No bodies, no signs of battle, no graves, nothing. Only one word had been carved into a wooden post. Croatoan, the name of a nearby island, but when search teams investigated, they found nothing there either. It was as if the colonists had simply disappeared into thin air. Historians still debate what happened. Were they killed? Did they join another tribe? Or did something far stranger occur? The lost colony of Roanoke remains one of the oldest unsolved mysteries in American history. Number 8. The Max Headroom broadcast hijacking. November 22nd, 1987. Television viewers in Chicago suddenly witnessed something bizarre. During a live news broadcast, the signal was interrupted. A strange figure appeared on screen wearing a creepy rubber mask resembling the TV character Max Headroom. The person swayed back and forth in front of a moving metal background while speaking complete nonsense. The interruption lasted only seconds before engineers regained control. But later that same night, another station was hijacked. This time the intruder behaved even more strangely. The masked figure laughed, screamed, and made bizarre comments while another unidentified person appeared to strike him with a fly swatter. Millions were disturbed. Authorities launched an investigation immediately. The FBI searched for answers, but nobody was ever caught. To this day, the hijacker's identity remains a mystery, and the footage is still considered one of the strangest television intrusions ever recorded. Number 7. The Black Dahlia Murder, January 15th, 1947. A woman walking through Los Angeles discovered something horrifying in an empty lot, the body of 22-year-old Elizabeth Short. The media quickly nicknamed her the Black Dahlia. The murder shocked the nation because of how brutal the crime scene was. Investigators received thousands of tips, dozens of suspects were questioned. Some even confessed, but none of the confessions matched the evidence. Over time, the case became one of America's most infamous unsolved murders. Theories continue to emerge decades later. Some believe the killer was a doctor, others suspect a serial murderer, but the truth has never been proven, and Elizabeth Short's killer was never identified. Number 6. The Flannan Isles Lighthouse Mystery. December 1900. A ship passing near a remote Scottish island noticed something alarming. The lighthouse light was out. When a rescue crew arrived days later, they discovered the island completely abandoned. 3 lighthouse keepers had vanished. Inside the lighthouse, everything looked strange. Meals were untouched. One chair had been knocked over. A clock had stopped. But there was no sign of the men anywhere. No bodies, no footprints, nothing. Investigators believed a massive rogue wave may have swept them into the ocean, but some details didn't add up. One lighthouse keeper's coat was still hanging inside, meaning he likely left during a storm without protection. Others believe something supernatural happened on the island. Whatever the truth may be, the 3 men were never seen again. Number 5. The Voynich Manuscript. Locked inside a mysterious ancient book lies one of the greatest puzzles in history. The Voynich Manuscript. Dating back hundreds of years, the manuscript contains page after page of bizarre writing that nobody can understand. The language doesn't match any known civilization. The book also contains strange illustrations, unknown plants, unusual star charts, and eerie drawings of people bathing in mysterious green liquid. For decades, experts tried decoding the text. Cryptographers, historians, government agencies, even modern artificial intelligence systems. Nobody has succeeded. Some believe it's an elaborate hoax. Others think it contains lost scientific knowledge. And some believe it could represent an entirely unknown language. Whatever the answer is, the manuscript remains unreadable to this day. Number 4. The Sodder children disappearance, Christmas Eve. The Sodder family home in West Virginia suddenly burst into flames during the night. George and Jenny Sodder managed to escape with several of their children, but 5 children were trapped upstairs. The fire spread too quickly. Authorities assumed the children had died, but investigators discovered something deeply unsettling. No human remains were ever found in the ashes, not even bones. Then strange details began emerging. A witness claimed to see the children near the fire that same night. Another reported seeing them with unknown adults days later. The family also received mysterious photographs years afterward showing someone who resembled one of the missing children as an adult. The parents became convinced their children had been kidnapped. They spent the rest of their lives searching for answers. But no one ever discovered what truly happened to the missing Sodder children. Number 3. The Hinterkaifeck Murders, March 1922. A family living on an isolated farm in Germany noticed something terrifying. Footprints in the snow leading toward their house, but none leading away. The family also reported hearing footsteps in the attic late at night. Then strange things started happening. Keys disappeared. Newspapers appeared that nobody had purchased. One family member even claimed to see a face watching from the woods. Days later, neighbors noticed the family hadn't been seen. When investigators entered the farm, they discovered a horrifying scene. The entire family had been murdered, but the strangest part came afterward. Evidence suggested the killer remained on the farm for several days after the murders. Animals had been fed, food had been eaten, smoke still came from the chimney. Someone had clearly stayed there. Despite a massive investigation, the killer was never identified. And the Hinterkaifeck murders remain one of Europe's creepiest unsolved crimes. Number 2. The Elisa Lam Case, January 2013. A young Canadian student named Elisa Lam checked into a Los Angeles hotel. Days later, she vanished. Police searched the building but found nothing. Then investigators released surveillance footage from inside an elevator. The video immediately terrified viewers worldwide. Elisa appeared distressed. She pressed multiple buttons, peeked into empty hallways, made strange hand movements, and seemed to react to something nobody else could see. The footage quickly went viral online. Weeks later, hotel guests began complaining about dark water coming from the taps. Investigators searched the roof. Inside one of the hotel's water tanks, they discovered Elisa Lam's body. Questions immediately spread across the internet. How did she get onto the roof? Why was the elevator footage so strange? And what exactly happened during her final moments? Despite official explanation, many people still believe the mystery was never fully solved. Number 1, the Dyatlov Pass incident, February 1959. 9 experienced hikers traveled deep into the freezing Ural Mountains of the Soviet Union. The group set up camp for the night on a snowy slope. Everything seemed normal, but sometime during the night, something went horribly wrong. Investigators later discovered the hikers had suddenly fled their tent in complete panic. The tent had been cut open from the inside. Footprints showed the group ran barefoot into the freezing darkness. Search teams eventually located the bodies scattered across the mountains. Some died from hypothermia. Others suffered horrifying injuries, crushed ribs, fractured skulls, internal trauma so severe investigators compared it to a car crash. One victim was missing her tongue, another was missing her eyes. Even stranger, some clothing tested positive for radiation. Over the years, countless theories emerged: avalanches, military experiments, secret weapons, paranormal creatures, even alien encounters. But no theory fully explains what happened that night. And the Dyatlov Pass incident remains one of the most chilling unsolved mysteries in history. Some mysteries fade over time, others only grow darker. These cases continue to haunt investigators, historians, and millions of people around the world, because somewhere behind these stories, the truth still exists, waiting to be discovered. Which mystery disturbed you the most? And what terrifying case should we cover next? If you enjoyed this video, subscribe for more top 10 lists.